All right. Once again, good evening, our dear parents and our staff members who have already joined this evening's meeting. I request that now that it is 8 p.m., we start off the meeting with the word of prayer. So let us all believe as we pray. Heavenly Father, this evening we are humbled before thy presence. We thank thee in our heart, the blessings the Lord you have on us, the blessings of children that have made us to meet this evening. As we go through this briefing concerning matters grade 10 selection, we pray the Lord you may give us the spirit of concentration, the spirit of oneness. The Lord we may carry out this activity in a manner that pleases you. Come and lead us in each and every way. For there is a humble prayer of faith in Jesus' name. I also briefly share a word from the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 18. And this is a very short verse that says, "Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall become like wool." This word this evening is not reminding us about our sins, but rather about the importance of reasoning together as a team, the importance of learning from one another, the importance of getting to know the knowledge that is applicable, especially on matters, pathways, subject combination, track, etc., etc. So that as we go about undertaking the exercise ahead of us, that is grade 10 selection, we shall do this from a point of information. Let us therefore concentrate, learn from one another, and at the end of the session, ask questions to seek clarity and to seek to learn. I share this in the name of God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teacher Maureen, please pick from there and start off the presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Francis. Welcome everyone to the meeting for the senior school selection, and please allow me to share my screen and we start off.
The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology requested that parents, teachers, and learners work together to get the school selection done. So STEM has, CBC has, in senior school has 3 pathways. We have science, technology, engineering, and maths, which is STEM. We have social sciences, we have arts and sports science. Then under science, technology, engineering, and maths, we have 3 tracks. We have pure sciences, applied sciences, and technical studies. Before a learner chooses a pathway, they're supposed to know their career. For example, if I am to choose engineering as a pathway, as a career, I am supposed to first of all know that I need engineering and where it is supposed to be placed. So the first thing you need to get is a career as a parent and together with your learner. Then the next thing you're supposed to get is the pathway. And the pathway, every learner is supposed to take one pathway. Then from the pathway, we supposed to get a track. Then from the track, we get a subject combination. And after the subject combination, we are able to get a school. So STEM has 3 tracks, the pure sciences, the applied sciences, and the technical studies. Then social sciences has 2 tracks, where we have languages and literature and humanities and business studies. Then under arts and sports science, we have arts and sports. Then the selection criteria for senior schools will be done according to pathways, gender, accommodations, and special needs. So in our case, now that we don't have any special needs learners, we can concentrate on the pathways. So some schools will offer 2 pathways, that is the double pathway school, and some other schools will offer 3 pathways, which is some other schools will offer two pathways, that is STEM or social sciences and STEM and arts and sports sciences. Then all schools will be offering STEM. All schools will be offering STEM. So, for example, if today we make our learners maybe go to a school like Alliance High School. Alliance High School is a triple pathway school, so it will be offering science, the STEM, the social sciences, and arts and sports sciences. But then there are some schools that will be offering STEM and social sciences only, and also others that will be offering STEM and arts and sports sciences. Then you need to know that all the schools will be offering STEM. All the schools will be offering STEM. Then from there will be schools that will be a one gender, the single gender. For example, you'll be having an only gender school. For example, boys' school like a Mangu High School. Mangu High School is a single gender school where we'll be having boys only. Then we have the girls only schools. For example, Kenya High School, which will be an girls only high school. Then we have the boys and girls schools, which will be mixed schools. Then we have accommodation, the placement according to accommodation. Some schools will be boarding schools purely, like we have right now, that we have some schools that are purely boarding schools. We have other schools that are day schools, and we have other schools that are hybrid schools. The hybrid schools will accommodate both the scholars and boarders. This is being done. This is being done to avoid the notion that most learners have, that learners in boarding schools perform better than learners in day schools. So the reason why they put the hybrid schools is some learners, for example, in Mangu High School, you can have learners go there as some learners will be boarders, and the learners who live around that area, for example, in Thika, Juja, can be the scholars. But this percentage will be around 10%, not very many learners. Then according to special needs, to place a learner as a special needs child, you need a report from CBC, which in our case, in our school for now, we don't have any learners who need a report from CBC. Then the placement basis will be according to the learner's choice, and the learner's choice is according to their career, what they've chosen as a career. For example, if a learner chooses medicine as their career, they will be guided on the pathway, the track, and the subject combination, then according to merit. Currently, the Ministry of Education is considering 20% of the results that they had in CBC will be used in placement. Also, 20% of what they did in grade 7 and 8. So in grade 7 and 8, that is 20% also. Then the CBC itself will be having 60%. So that will be having a total of 100%. Then the psychometric test. I'm sure we did a psychometric test in our school where we have the aptitude, the interest, and others that were tested. And we're hoping that will lead most of the learners in getting in the correct placement. Then equity, there'll be regional balancing. For example, if I am a learner from Kajiado County, I will be able to go to a school that is within another county. So they will not pick learners from one county and take them to the same county. No, we'll be having learners from across the country, depending on the type of school that they choose. Then the school resources, the learners will be allocated schools according to their resources. For example, if All Saints had a senior school and they had 300 slots for senior school, for example, maybe STEM, they had 300 slots. Once they fill the 300 slots, they will close their admission at that point. So depending on the school resources, if maybe Alliance had 700 slots and they fill their slots, they will close their admission at that point. And kindly note that no admission is being done manually. Previously in the 844, I would maybe people of my generation will see our parents going, maybe they want you to join maybe the Kenya High School. They go to Kenya High School, they manually go and get a letter for you and you get admitted there. But then for now, all the admission will be done online. So the learners are requested to, if they are not placed in the school that they want to go to, they come back to their principal, and the principal will help them to get a school. But then the school resources is currently they'll use that as a placement criteria. Then how do we test for a pathway? I know most of us are wondering, how will I know where my learner should be placed? So according to what the ministry is giving directions, their directives, our teachers, those who have been with them from grade 7 to grade 9, together with the parents, are the people who can really help the learners in getting the schools or the particular pathways. So for example, I will sit maybe with my child and they tell me I want to be a doctor. And when they say they want to be when she says she wants to be a doctor, that is a narrative. Then maybe the teacher had the learner say, I want to be an engineer. So that is a narrative. You will listen to your child and know that this person is really interested in medicine, or this person is interested in sports, or this person is interested in being a chef, and stuff like that. Then we have questionnaires. Questionnaires will be administered to learners to know the particular pathways that they want to go to. And sometimes you ask a learner, why do you want to be a doctor? And the reason they give very funny answers. They tell you sometimes because medicine is a good career, maybe I'm passionate about it. So questionnaires will be administered. The teachers have previously had those career talks with learners, and also now we will administer questionnaires on the same. Then we have career inventories. Last year, in our school, we had a career day last year. I don't know, it was second term or third term, where we saw some of the learners in grade 7 to grade 9 they want. So we have those photographs, we have those records of what the particular learners want. Then we have the observation checklists. Sometimes the teacher is able to observe this learner is very keen on particular things, or this learner is a bit has maybe PR skills and such. So those checklists will help. Those checklists will help the learner get the specific path within the learner's portfolio. This includes their performance and such things, maybe what they've been doing. Maybe if it's an art, a student who knows a lot of art, the teacher can go through their portfolio and assess and give the correct pathway for them. Then selection of subject combinations. So when I began, I said that the learner should have the career first. Then the career will lead them to a specific pathway that they want to go to. And you find that some of these careers that we have, they are, some of them share the pathways. But then there are very few that share the pathways. A learner would maybe choose biomedical engineering. Biomedical engineering is under medicine, and it is under the technical studies, because any engineering is under technical studies. So we have some careers that share the tracks. Then when you get the track, you're now able to get the subject combination that will lead the learner to getting the school according to their clusters. And in the schools, the clusters, we have 4 clusters of schools. Previously, we had the national schools, the extra county schools, we had the county schools, and the sub-county schools. So cluster 1 is the national schools. Cluster 1 is the national schools. Then cluster 2 is the extra county schools. Cluster 3 is the county schools, and cluster 4 is the sub-county schools. Cluster 4 is the sub-county schools. And now we find that some of our schools, for example, Mangu High School is a national school, which is under cluster 1. Then cluster 2, maybe we will give it a school like maybe 𝗖ន់់ឆ Chania Girls High School, which is under cluster 2. Then cluster 3, we will get a school like Highway Secondary School is under cluster 3. It is a county school within Nairobi. Then for our cluster 4 is the day schools that we have around the sub-county schools. For example, Raila Odinga Educational Center is an example of a sub-county school. So depending on how the learner will have performed, they will be placed in those schools. Then we have those clusters. They are inclusive of the private schools. The private schools have also been clustered. We have the cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3, and cluster 4 of the private schools. Then parents are requested to be patient as senior schools are still uploading subject combination. The portal is not yet open completely for the selection because our senior schools are still uploading the subject combination, which on their end maybe has taken some time. So I wanted us to go through this form. And this form is the form that we will be using to register our schools. And now, before I continue, when we fill this form, we will do this manually. Then we will later on we will fill it out on the computer. We'll enter the data, and after entering the data, we will download the student's profile, which is to be signed by the learner, the parents, the class teacher, and the school principal. And it will be in 3 copies. One of the copies will be for the parent to keep for future reference. One will be for the school, and the other one will be taken to the sub-county director of education, just in case for their record. So under this form, we have the head teacher, we have the class teacher, we have the parent or guardian, and the learner. And parents are requested. I know we are busy, but they are requested to be there with their children when the schools are being selected. Why is this so? Because some of us parents, we trust teachers, which is very good. But your input, the teacher's input and the student's input is required in the whole process. For example, I maybe know learner X is good in pre-technical studies, but then their class teacher knows that this learner can be a very good doctor. And the parent at home knows that this learner is an engineer. So if you leave it to the teacher will choose maybe the medical path, a medical subject combination for the learner. But then when you sit the 3 of you, you're able to know that my learner can be able to, the learner can be able to get this this subject combination. So you're requested to be there for the learner. It will take maybe a day or maybe even 15 minutes to sit down. You can sit down with your child at home and talk to them, ask them, how do you feel? Because also this whole process is learner-centered. Remember, what they are doing at their 14, 15 years is what we who went to 844 did at maybe our 19 years, where we went to the university and maybe chose a wrong career, went for maybe some few weeks and maybe decided I want another course. So for them, it's very crucial because they are young and they need your help. They need your help as parents. So please be there for them to be able to choose the correct career and the correct subject combination together with the pathway and all that. Then on this form, we have the full name of the parent, their email address, their telephone number, and their national ID number. So that information is required. Then the learner's location. We have the home county, the home sub-county, the county of residence, and the sub-county of residence. Under the home county, this is what appears on the birth certificate. For example, if a learner was born in Kajiado County, their home county will be Kajiado County. Their home sub-county will be maybe Ngong. So that is what appears on the birth certificate. Sometimes we are not able to get the particular home sub-county, but for the counties, all our counties, maybe if they say Eastern, we know maybe Eastern has a particular county there and we are able to get that specific county. Then the county sub-county of residence. For example, if you live in Nairobi, just write Nairobi. The sub-county of residence, Nairobi has different sub-counties for, maybe we will maybe call that Langata. So if this learner was born in Kajiado and their home sub-county is Ngong, that is what will be fitted at the top there. So then under the learner's pathway, you're supposed to select only one pathway. And now under the pathways, we have STEM, we have social science, and we have arts and sports science. So under STEM, maybe we'll put a tick where there is STEM. And if I choose STEM, I come now and get the subject combination. And I know this is where most of us are getting a challenge. So under the subject combinations, depending on the learner's pathway, when you select the subject, the pathway, you are allowed to choose subjects from any track within that particular pathway. You're allowed to choose any track within the particular pathway. So for example, if there's some careers that you can choose within both of the tracks or the 3 tracks. For example, if you want to be a lawyer today in Kenya, the people who do the legal research and writing, and there are people who still do, they represent people in court. So it's within law. So you can come and choose social science. Then under the subject combination, we can pick from the language and literature, can also pick from the humanities and business studies. For example, if also you want to choose a career like medicine, we can choose from STEM, we can choose from the pure science, and we can also choose from the technical studies. If you're choosing something like engineering, you can choose from STEM, technical studies. You can choose from one of the tracks or from 3 of the tracks, depending on the particular career that you have chosen. Because there are careers, for example, if you're doing education, you want to be a teacher, teaching is covered across the 3 pathways. It is under STEM, it is under social sciences, and it is under arts and sports science. So depending on the particular subject that you're teaching, you will be able to choose from the 3 pathways. But then now if I want to be a computer teacher, I will come to STEM and I will choose from the applied sciences. My subject combinations will be from the applied sciences. So the first thing that you need to know before you fill the form, what career does your child want? And they should not be torn between career A and career B. They should only have one career. And I know the question that most of us are asking ourselves is, what happens if the learner along the way decides that they want to change their career? So within the first term of grade 10, the learner will be allowed to change their pathway. But now this will have a cost implication on the parent, because now if my child chose engineering and I've bought them the equipment or the requirements for engineering, then they sit down again and decide, I now want to be a doctor. The cost of what they want to do will be on the parent. So you're advised, take your time with the learner, talk to them, ask them, what do you really want to be? You can give your input, tell them, I think you're good at this, and you can be able to be this and this and this. Also listen to them, because you find that most of us, I know most of you can agree with me, most of our parents will choose careers for us. And they will tell you, I want you to go and do medicine, or I want you to go and be a teacher. So let us not force it on our children on what we want them to be. Let them give their inputs. You can advise on, maybe you will tell them that you're strong in this, and maybe I feel you will be this. But let us not force them to be what we want them to be. Let it come from them. I know some of us, for example, myself wanted to be a lawyer. But at some point, my dad told me, "Apana, wewe huwezi kuwa wakili. I want you to go and do computer science, for example." And you see, you leave the learner at the point that they're just doing that. They'll choose that pathway for you, just for you to be satisfied, because they don't want to make you angry. So please support them. Be their support. Just tell them you want this. You can advise them, but don't make that decision for them, because now this is about their life. This is where they are either defining their future or crashing it, because you find that maybe somebody will go choose a career and pathway, and maybe they feel like this for mommy, or I'm doing this for my brother, because he's the one who's paying my fees. I don't want to disappoint him. So when you choose, we've already chosen the subject combinations. I know a parent will ask, maybe, my child wants to be an engineer, give me the subject combination. When you discuss with your child and maybe you're stuck at choosing the subject combinations, you are to liaise with your specific class teacher, and they will assist in selecting the subject combinations, because we have the mandatory ones. For example, STEM, essential maths is a compulsory subject. But then if you're doing something like engineering, you don't need to do the essential maths. You will have to do the advanced maths. You also have to take something like physics. If you're doing civil engineering, you need to take geography. So your class teacher will advise on the subject combinations. Then now, when you're to select the schools, each subject combination, for example, if I am taking civil engineering and I have chosen advanced maths, geography, and physics, that is what we are writing under there's a part here where we have under the subject combination. Then we have the option 1, 2, 3, 4 of the schools, which under senior school choices. So the first one is cluster 1. Maybe I will choose Alliance Girls High School. Then the cluster 2, I come and choose an extra county school. An extra county school is a school that is allowed to pick learners from other counties. For example, let me use one of the schools in Thika, maybe a school like Thika High School. Thika High School is an extra county school. Then under cluster 3, we choose the cluster 3 school. And under 4, we choose the sub-county school, which is a day school. So in 3 out of 4 will be boarding schools. So cluster 1, 2, 3 will be boarding. Then cluster 4 will be a day school. So, then we have the second part here. You will come and choose under your second subject combination. Maybe I chose civil engineering and I have advanced maths and physics and geography. I have advanced maths, physics, and geography. So I will come there and choose my schools. Under cluster 1, I will choose the cluster 1 school that I have. Under cluster 2, I will choose the extra county school that I have. Then under cluster 3, I will choose the county school that I have. Then under cluster 4, I will choose the sub-county school that I have. Then now you choose under the 4 clusters like that. So here it is cluster 1 is the national school. That is cluster 1. Maybe I choose Mangu High School. Number 2, I choose Thika High School. Number 3, I choose a school like and a sub-county school, and under cluster 4, I choose a day school. So that makes a total of 3 plus 3 boarding schools, that are 6, and 2 day schools. Then under cluster 3, your subject combination there. Maybe I have advanced maths, metal work, and physics. That's just an example. I come and choose my cluster 1 school, my cluster 2 school, my cluster 3 school, and my cluster 4 school. Then now I will have 9 boarding schools and 3 day schools. Then from now there, once we fill that form, we will be able to, you'll be able to come to school and liaise with the class teacher. Now in this case, our class teacher is our boss. She's the one now who will guide us now on what should be done, where the parent is also the boss in this case. The parent will also guide, what do I want, and the learner will also guide on what they want. Then now you can come to a consensus. Once you've agreed, you can now present the form to the people who will be filling out the school selection to fill the data and print it for you. You sign, you carry your copy home. One remains with the school and one goes to the sub-county director of education. Then now we are advised that most of our learners, when you're talking to the learners, let us have a 60% transition to STEM. Why is this so? Because the future is science and technology. I know there are learners who will go to social sciences, and we are advised that 25% to go to social sciences and 15% to go to the arts and sports science schools. So when you're speaking to the learners also, you will choose careers that are mostly within the STEM. And considering that most schools will be offering STEM, you will be on the safe side of learning.
Okay.
Anyone with any question apart from? There's a question there from we are asking about the psychometric test results. They are ready, and Teacher Francis will give us a clarification on that. Then Mama Sereti, placement is even done for private senior schools. Yes, all the schools in Kenya are under the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. So the placement will be even done for the private senior schools. Then Robina Kombuka, will the school share the psychometric test results? Yes, they will be shared. Teacher Francis will talk about that. Then how will private schools be selected? Physically or online as well? Everything is being done online. So maybe I want to go to Nova Pioneer, or maybe I want to go to Pioneer School, or I want to go to maybe Merisho School. That will also be done online. Those schools have also been given their clusters. So we have the day schools that are private, we have the extra county, we have the county schools, and also the national schools that are private. Then Mama Sereti, now if they change pathways to one provided in a different school, is transfers allowed? What will be the process? This will be when they join grade 10. I know this will be taken care of by the schools. I know not much changes will happen, but if the learner is maybe in a national school, for example, I know our learners are bright learners. They will go to those schools that offer triple pathways, and it will be, I know it will have a cost implication on the parents. Because now if maybe I want to be a lawyer, then next year I decide I want to be a doctor. In that case, you realize that the equipment for medicine and the equipment for law is very different. So the cost implication is on the parent now. So we are requested to talk to our learners and they give us what they want, and we also advise them. Then you mentioned a process in helping narrow down to a pathway. This will come to the with the psychometric test. What are the timelines? So the psychometric test, placement will be done at the end of the year. So what we are just doing is selection. So along the way, I know schools will be asked to present the psychometric tests. And when they are asked to produce them or to give them, they will give them at that specific time. So we are waiting for guidelines from the Ministry of Education. Then can you have a complete field form as a sample? Yes, we will fill out one on Monday and share. We will fill out maybe 2 or 3 and share. Since we are in Nairobi, could you kindly use examples from here? Let me use examples from Nairobi. So under the subject combinations, let me just use civil engineering. And I have maybe advanced maths, physics, and geography. Subject combination 1, that is my subject combination. Under the senior school choices in Nairobi, we have Kenya High School, which is under cluster 1. We have a school like Precious Blood, which is under cluster 2. We have a school under cluster 3 like Highway Secondary School, which is under cluster 3. It is a county school. Then under cluster 4, within our sub-county, which is Lang'ata, we have Raila Odinga Educational Center, which is under cluster 4. So those are some of the schools that are in Nairobi that I can give examples of under the senior school choices. Then the other question is so under cluster 1 we have a national school like Kenya High School. Cluster 2 we have Precious Blood. Cluster 3 we have Highway Secondary School. Cluster 4 we have Raila Odinga Educational Center. And you cannot choose one school twice under any class, under any subject combination. So if you have chosen Kenya High School at the top here, you cannot choose it again. So you are advised to have as many varieties of schools as you can. We're still applying what we used to do previously in 844. So any other question?
Teacher Maureen, as parents prepare a few more questions, I would request that we tackle the issue of psychometric tests and the results. And we are blessed to have Mr. Kennedy with us in this forum from Career Center. He'll briefly explain to the parents on the importance and use of psychometric tests and their results when doing the grade 10 selection. And then he'll also tell the parents, he'll give the parents contacts that they should use to get in touch with the professionals who did these tests in our school. He'll also give them the payment mode, because I understand that the parents were required to pay some money in order for them to get their results. Mr. Kennedy, I request that you take the shortest time possible so that we can continue with the rest of the few more questions before we close. The meeting was to take place between 8 to 9. Mr. Kennedy, if you can hear me, please.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I hope the parents can hear me. And asanteni sana. Good evening to us all. Now, I will take the shortest time possible because most of the things have actually been preempted by Madam Maureen, if I got that right. And I would love to share my screen. Just allow me to do that. I would request the admin to allow me to share my screen kindly. Admin, allow me all right, okay.
Please share your screen.
All right, so thank you. I'm hoping this screen is visible to all. Kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
You can see your screen.
Thank you. So now, Madam Morin has mentioned that among the criteria to be used in placement are learner's choice, learner's merit, that is performance, and then we have psychometric assessment. I'm actually happy to be aware that our learners already took their psychometric assessment. So I would love to submit to us that the Ministry of Education through NEC will use the RIASEC model to place our learners. That is the RIASEC model, the R representing STEM, investigative representing STEM, or the possible pathways that can be pursued by learners. Personality, they are likely to pursue STEM. And then we have investigative for STEM, artistic for sports and art or arts and sports, social for social sciences, enterprising for social sciences, and conventional for STEM and social science. Allow me to quickly mention something about these personalities. Learners who are realistic, they are likely to involve themselves in activities that require them to use plants, animals to manipulate using their hands. Something about realistic people is that they like working with things, actual things they can see, they can feel, they can touch. And then investigative people, they are the analyzers and the researchers. For them, they study science or they will study mathematics to know more about it. These learners are very inquisitive. They ask a lot of questions. Of course, we know artistic learners, they love creative activities like music, art, dancing, drawing, and so on and so forth. For social people, I normally like saying that these are the helpers. And also, if you find your son is ever talkative, either your son or your daughter, they fall in this category. Then the enterprising people are the persuaders. These include business people, lawyers, marketers, politicians, what was sales, what was hospitality, and entrepreneurs. They do love talking, yes, but their talk is on a more convincing and a persuading part. On conventional, two things are involved here. These learners are either introverts or they love mathematics. So these are among the things that we need to look at when we are sending our learners into these different pathways. And maybe there's something I would love to mention on concerning a question that has been raised concerning the issue of private institutions. Uh, they are also called pre-select schools. So it's conceptualized that just a moment there, good. So it is conceptualized that pre-select schools refer to an institution that admits students based on specific criteria rather than open enrollment. The school can apply to be pre-select if it meets the criteria defined by the MOE. Such a school will be allowed to pre-select learners prior to KJSEA and before the main selection. The school shall only pre-select from the learners that choose to join the school. Now, allow me to show you a few pre-select schools that we already know in Kenya. Number one, we have Starehe Boys. Our parents, we all know that if someone wanted to go to Starehe during the 844 time, Starehe, we had the top 3 learners from the primary schools, standard 8, apply. I remember I was one of them where I was. So we were supposed to fill a form, attach our what is it called? Attach our passport photo size, and then that information would be sent to Starehe. So if any one of us performed well, we would be called there. We also have Starehe girls. These schools, these two are 100% pre-select schools. And then we have Moi Forces Academy. We have Moi Forces Academy Lanet, Utumishi Academy, Utumishi Girls, Moi T Uzalendo, and Koelel High School. These schools have a percentage of pre-select. For example, under Moi Forces Academy, the pre-select level of Moi Forces is at 80%. Therefore, that means 20% will be brought in by the Ministry of Education through the default selection process. But 80%, the school will decide who joins. And most of these schools, as you can see, they are the schools that are in the KDF barracks, the Army, the Air Force. I don't know whether the Navy is here, but I know Moi Forces Academy is at iko hapa 𝗖cie in the Moi Air Base, and then we have Moi Forces Academy Lanet in Nakuru. Therefore, priority is given, of course, to the officers who work there, but there are civilians whom I know have pre-selected the school. They have actually gone to the school through the Sub-County Director of Education, and they have been able to probably, I would say, right now, because these are pre-select schools, you just get a nod or an allowance to pre-select the school. Now, there's something that I don't know whether Madam Maureen mentioned. I'm obliged to mention it. Is that C1, C2 should be outside the learner's home county/county of residence. And then C3 and C4 should be within the learner's home county/county of residence, with the C3 being a sub-county school. Now, what that simply means is this, and I've always been saying this in the several meetings I've been in Nairobi, and parents are normally very shocked, is that if you feel that form, hiyo form ambayo tumepewa, ujaze ya kwamba, for example, you live in nipeane mfano na wapi sasa, along Ngong Road. I don't know Ngong Road is in which sub-county. Is it Kibra? Maybe someone can confirm for me.
It's Kibra.
Yes, if you live there and your learner is at All Saints, or maybe Langata and your learner is at All Saints, ukijaza ya kwamba sub-county yako, home sub-county or residence, sub-county of residence is Langata. Let me use Langata as an example. And Langata is in Nairobi County. I need you to know that you will not select any C1 school within Nairobi County. I hope that information is clear, because C1 and C2 should be outside the learner's home county/sub-county of residence. And then C2, C3 will be within Nairobi. That is, if you feel Nairobi as your county of residence. And then that simply also means that the pre-select schools in Nairobi, like Moi Forces Academy, may not be among your choices. Yet, learners who will be considered for pre-selection should have chosen the school during registration. So this probably is information that may require a physical meeting so that we can debug it, but I stand guided by the schools. Now, let me go to, allow me to present a sample report, and then I conclude so that I can actually show us exactly how psychometric assessments intermarry with the results of the learners. I'm going to present my own report. Now, if you ask your son or daughter, they will tell you that they were not timed ama hawakuharakishwa wakati walikuwa wanafanya hiyo psychometric assessment. I took 15 minutes and 47 seconds to complete my assessment. Now, I am going to go directly to page number 5, where we have my profile. So the results of our learners will come in this mode. We have the key personalities that I possess as Kennedy, which is S, R, and E. As I had said earlier, S goes to social science, R goes to STEM, letter E goes to social science. Therefore, as Kennedy, I am actually supposed to pursue social sciences. And by the way, that is very, very true, because I went to Maseno University and I did computer science and technology, which is actually a STEM subject. And since graduation in 2014, I have never practiced anything to do with computer science. I always give this as an example. I'm one of the people, or the result of something that we call career mismatch. I went and I did a career that was not my personality. All along, I am a very talkative person. I'm a very persuasive person. I'm also realistic because I love working with machines at time. I love farming too, but I don't like animals. I like working with things I can see. So, having known that, there's an extra page that I would like us to look at, which is the next page. This graphical representation can also tell me something more about something else that I can do or I am. For example, despite all this, I am also investigative and artistic. And as you can see, my score on artistic and enterprising is actually equal, and that of investigative is actually slightly below. That means I slightly possess these personalities, slightly possessed, but my biggest bit is on social, which means I'm very talkative. Actually, right now I can talk until tomorrow morning. And then we have realistic and we have enterprising. So with that information, we will look at the learner's performance. We will look at the learner's choice. What does the learner want? What is their performance? And what does the psychometric assessment say? I have shared the flyer for payment details with Mwalim, and I am hoping that he is going to share with the parents in the WhatsApp group. And then from there, the results of the psychometric assessment can be released to the parents. I think with that, I will give the program back to Mr. Francis, unless parents have a question for me.
Yeah, the psychometric you just said you'll give a price list or what? Is it charged?
Yes, the psychometric assessment comes at a price, or it's supposed to be paid for per learner. So
Roughly at how much?
I'm going to send it's at 3,000 shillings per learner. So I'm going to share with the Mwalim. I've actually already done that. I've already shared with him so that he can actually share it with the parents on the WhatsApp group. The payment details are an M-Pesa pay bill, and then we have the account number being admission number of the learner, and then hashtag ASC, All Saints Cathedral, and then you will put the amount as the very, very last thing. Yes. So any other question?
Yes, Kennedy, so the test was already done?
I suppose, yes, the test was already done on the learners and the results are ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our dear parents, are there some more questions for Kennedy?
Mine, I don't think it's to Kennedy. I don't know whether it's Kennedy or Maureen. For you said C4 is a day school. Where are they classed as the best private schools? Because on the list sent I did see like Strathmore.
Okay. Sorry. Allow me to mention something about private schools. Private schools have not appeared on the list of senior schools. But if you notice, actually, as we speak, when you go to the website for selection.education.go.ke, that is the portal for these issues, you will notice that one of the PDFs, one of the downloads, your senior schools in Kenya, was actually removed from the site. They are doing updates. I know the list will come with some private schools that have already made up their mind on which subjects and pathways they are going to offer. But even as we speak, we know of a few private schools and the pathways that they are going to offer. I could give an example. I know of 𝗖𝗃𝗃𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗏 International. They'll be offering all the 3 pathways, but of course not all the subjects. I know of 𝗖cie𝘃𝗃𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗏. I know of Merisho. I know of Mudasa in Kisumu. I know of a school like Mbale Shalom, and so on and so forth. So that list, I believe once the download comes again, we will be able to see that. Let's be keen on the issue of pre-select schools. Let's be keen on the issue of pre-select schools too. So for private schools, they are actually categorized as among the pre-select schools. I've seen one parent who has asked a question, that is Mama Sereti, clarify on prior to CBC on pre-select schools. It simply means that you are supposed to visit the school. Like now, if you want your learner to go 𝗖𝗃𝗃𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗏 Lanet in Nakuru, pre-visit the school. Go there and tell the administrators of the school that you would like your son or daughter to join that school as a senior school. One thing I know with the 𝗖𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗏 academies, both in Nakuru and in Nairobi, is that they will be offering all the pathways and all the subjects. I was actually there yesterday talking to parents of 𝗖𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗏 in Nairobi, that is pale just after 𝗖cie𝘃𝗃𝗏𝗃, pakaribu na ile raunda ya Dandora, and the school is offering all the 3 pathways, and it's also offering all the subjects, as I'm informed. So pre-select schools, visit the school, even today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, visit the school, express interest, and then from there, your learner will have to select that school as the first county of residence will not be Nairobi. I know hiyo kitu inaleta wasiwasi sana, but that's just the way it is. Yes, please.
Kennedy, I just need clarity. You mentioned something to do with pre-select. So pre-select is the ones owned by KDF and Army, or does it include some few private schools?
Actually, I would say most private schools will play a role of pre-select schools, because even in the normal placement year 844, the government never sent any learners to private schools. Private schools used to, outsource, market themselves, or parents used to ask for chances in these private schools. So you can take an opportunity and go to these private schools. I have mentioned a few. I think now I can mention Mount Kenya High in Nyeri. We have also pioneer schools. Kuna pioneer girls hapa ukipita na hii barabara just after Blue Post. We have the boys high school on your way to Murang'a, and so on and so forth. So you need to visit the schools before. So private schools, we can actually treat them as schools that we need to do pre-selection, kwa sababu unaweza enda huko upate ilishaja, because private school owners are individual investors. They will always look at who comes first and then they pick them. I hope it's clear.
Is it a mandatory for even the pre-select schools in C1 to C3 to be boarding?
Most pre-select schools are actually boarding.
No, the question is it a must? If the school was not a boarding, is it a requirement by the ministry that if you fall category C1 to C3, you will be a boarding?
Now, C1 is a boarding school, C2 is a boarding, C3 it's conceptualized that kutakuwa na boarding na day. That's why C3s are actually hybrid schools. So kama mtoto wako ataenda C3, for example, ni shule gani iko hybrid na ni C3? I don't know whether Roy girls and Roy boys fall in that category, but I'm not able to confirm from the document that I have because it was pulled down by the ministry.
Can you use example like Strathmore boys is day? Will it be forced now to be boarding?
Strathmore is actually a private institution, right?
Yes.
So it's not in the government list. So it's upon the investor to decide what he wants to do with the school. I know of a few private schools, private senior schools, or do I say formally secondary schools and high schools as per the 844 system that were accepting boarding and day. So I don't know whether they are going to do that right now because hiyo ni choice ya mwenye hiyo shule, if I may put it that way. Is that okay? Private schools have not been categorized. They are not in this list.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You have answered the question.
The private schools are not in the list. The list that was pulled down, they are not there at all. Because even before, the government never sent any learners using the system, ile education, to any private institution. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just a bit confused. I'm a bit confused about listing of the birth certificate being the home county, yet somebody might have been born in another county, but their home county is different. Kindly clarify.
I will not go as per the birth certificate. I will go as per exactly what has been written on the form that Madam Maureen displayed. We are saying you will write your home county and your home sub-county, your county of residence and your sub-county of residence. Now, the main aim of filling the county and sub-county of residence is so that we can know which C4 you are supposed to pick, especially the sub-county school. And of course, we will definitely know the C3 that you are supposed to pick. And that is why ninasema, I've been to several institutions and you find a parent saying, mimi ninaishi Nairobi, lakini mama yake anaishi Nyeri. Nyeri wapi? Mokoroine. Mokoroine is in which sub-county? I don't know whether it's also called Mokoroine sub-county ama inaitwaje. So you will find that the father and the mother decide that they will fill Nyeri as the county of residence and Mokoroine, I'm not certain, Mokoroine as the sub-county of residence. Kwa hivyo what will happen to that learner? Hata kama anasomea Nairobi, anaweza chagua C1 ya Nairobi. Anaweza chagua C1 ya Nairobi, anaweza chagua C2 ya Nairobi, lakini C3 will be within Nyeri and C4 will be a school they can walk to from their home in Mokoroine. So I will not go the direction of birth certificate.
I think just for clarity, can you tell us what should be on home sub-county? Like in real sense, my daughter, let's say, has been born in Ngong. We do not live in Ngong. It is born. Maybe my home is in Rift Valley. What do we put?
Mama Sereti, I will use you as an example. Sindio?
That is fair.
Good. Now, your daughter, ungependa aishi wapi? Aishi na wewe hapa Nairobi ama aishi kwingine?
Na mimi.
So kama ataishi na wewe, your home county and county of residence will be Nairobi. Is that okay? Your county of residence and your home county will be Nairobi. But now you will not select any C1 and C2 from Nairobi. Kama anataka kwenda Pangani Girls, hiyo ni X. Kama anataka kwenda State House Girls, hiyo ni X. Itabidi achague shule kama Alliance, shule kama Kabare Girls, shule kama Mogoiri, shule kama Kahuhia, shule kama Machakos Girls. I mean the C1 schools outside Nairobi County. C2 outside Nairobi County. Then C3 atachukua within Nairobi County. And C4 utamchagulia shule ambayo anaweza toka hapo nyumbani kwako aende na arudi jioni. I hope now that is clear.
So they don't verify this information in any way, just like Teacher Maureen had said, that we use the birth certificate. So if I choose to say that our home county is in, let's say, Nakuru, for the sake of getting a C1 in Nairobi, that will be okay.
Yes, but remember your child can land on a C4. So you must be sure about where you are feeling. Yes. Back to Maureen. There is no other question. Teacher Francis?
Just concerning the private schools, again, I never got it concerning exactly where they fall as a home school or something. Kindly clarify.
As I said earlier, private schools, okay, let me begin it this way. Kwa ile system ya 844, the government never sent learners to any private school. And I do believe it was because of issues of capitation and so on and so forth, mainly capitation. So this year, I do not think they will do it because of still the same thing. Therefore, private schools will advertise themselves as usual. So ukiamua kupeleka mtoto wako private school, now that one does not matter where you stay. In fact, the selection that you'll be doing here is basically for formality sakes. Kwa sababu ushaamua unataka kupeleka mtoto wako Mudasa Senior School in Vihiga County, and of course one is in Kisumu. You've already decided to take your child to Kitengela International. You've already decided to take your child to Acacia Crest Senior School or Merisho or Pioneer and so on and so forth. Kwa hivyo ile kujaza form utakuwa unajaza hapa itakuwa formality. Wewe utakuwa ushaamua unataka kupeleka mtoto wako Kitengela International kwa mfano. So you will go to Kitengela International, find out their subject combinations, and then you will say, this one fits my daughter, fits my son. In fact, unasema mimi huyu wangu achukuliwe hapa. And then the school will keep a record of yourself. I hope now I've clarified that in a much better way.
Thank you very much. It is pretty clear. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Bwana Kenneth, as you leave, is the 3,000 negotiable? I'm speaking for the rest of the parents.
Wow. Unfortunately, no. It's not negotiable.
Bwana Francis, over.
All right. Thank you so much, Kennedy, for the clarity on matters psychometric tests. I wish to confirm to all the parents, and if there is any of the parents who is in this forum and happened to attend the training or rather parents seminar on pathways that was done in term 1, consisting of parents from grade 9, 8, and 7, I would wish to request that parents to clarify here in this forum that after the seminar, the parents requested for the assessment to be done, because this is part of what was covered in that seminar, and even the cost was mentioned in the forum, and the parents present were okay. It appears like most of the parents in this forum did not attend that seminar. So if any parents here happen to have been that meeting, kindly confirm and take the shortest time possible, please.
The issue is we were supposed to be advised before it is done, so that you're okay or not, because I'm just thinking it's been done without our notice, and the money is being demanded. So I mean, it's just courtesy to let us know it has been done, because I mean 3,000 is not just peanuts.
Okay, I can see in the messages.
I was in attendance, and I remember we agreed the school to undertake the assessment, and the costing was agreed at 3,000. What I don't recall, I think there was a suggestion that the school would meet the costs. I think the payment is what was not fully agreed, whether it's the parents to meet the cost or the school. So that I think is what I don't remember. But we all agreed that the test should be done.
Okay, thank you for that response. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 parents have confirmed attendance, and the question now is who was to meet the cost. In that meeting, it was clarified that the school had met the cost of the trainer who facilitated the training, and the parents were requested to meet the cost of the test. So the payment of every child's test is not being demanded. It's only that this test is a requirement, and as a parent, you need it to guide the child further on matter selection. I don't know how one would say that they would do without it, but it's not being demanded. It needs to be paid, not being demanded. Yes.
Please allow me to mention to parents that I've seen the messages, and I agree with their concerns. And actually, schools that we are going to, and I hope I will not sound rude for this case. Yes, we are not demanding the payment from the parents. And parents, it's not a must for you to pay for the psychometric assessment. But those who will pay for it will get their reports, and they will be able to actually confidently choose pathways for their learners. So we are not demanding any payment from any parent. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. I hope I've at least clarified that. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Kennedy, for the clarification. I have also seen a question on whether we are recording the meeting. Our school marketer is here with us, and he confirmed that he's recording the meeting, and this will be shared after this meeting. We shall arrange for a physical meeting. What we are waiting is for the Ministry of Education to complete uploading all the necessary information, so that when we meet the parents physically, and maybe I'll request Kennedy to be available that day to issue the test results as parents pay. We don't want to call for a meeting before we get all the details ready. So when we call the parents for a physical meeting, we shall call them when the portal is open, functional, with all the information, such that we shall do the final bit, the final decision, and we do the final selection, and have the parents, parents learners sign, such that we shall not call for many meetings. I think that I want to believe that this is in agreement, and parents, if we don't have any other concerns, I'll request. I request that we close the meeting with a prayer. There's a last question here.
Yes,
when is this task due? The task ought to start today, the 20th, only that some of the information is yet to be uploaded, and we are trusting in God that in the course of today and Monday, the government, or rather the ministry, will be through with uploading some of the information that is still missing. And the information that is missing is mostly on schools offering the different subject combinations. I can hear one of the parent speaking. Kindly feel free to speak.
Yeah, so good evening. I just wanted to inquire. I think you have said when we have the physical meeting, that's when parents can pay and get the results for psychometric test. But I want to request, if a parent pays, I want to believe that they can be released even via email to them. We don't have to wait if a parent has paid. Probably Kennedy can be able to confirm that.
Allow me to answer that, Bona Francis.
Go ahead.
If a parent pays even now and forwards the message to me, can I put the number on the chat? I want to put my number on the chat area.
You can put it on the chat, and I'll also share it in the class WhatsApp group.
Yes.
At the end of this meeting.
So if any parent pays, they can actually send that message to me, and at the availed.